You can support this show at patreon.com/ASAPodcasting. Welcome to a Skyrim Addict podcast, where I will discuss my adventures and misadventures through Skyrim. Join me. Add your stories, add your tales. Let's get into this thing. Hello, welcome back to an incredibly loud version of a Skyrim Addict podcast. Sorry about that. I'm your host, Michael. I don't think I ever say that. Anyway, so last time I was somewhere in Cyrodiil, finishing up good old Oblivion, and yes, for those of you watching, I do have a Winnie the Pooh mug I'm drinking coffee out of. So I was finishing up Oblivion last time. I was within the main quest. Let me pull up where the hell I was at. Got a lot of windows open. The MacBook Pro working overtime tonight, running all kinds of shit. Let's see how this goes. All right, so I'd finished up, and I was about to head and get all the allies for Bruma. So I went and did that. You have to go close the gates in Anvil, Bravo, Chainhall, Coral, Leowin, Skingrad. So I went and did that. Most of them I did as I did the gate, the original Bruma gate, which, I kind of sped through it because I feel like it's an Oblivion crisis, not an Oblivion problem. It's an Oblivion crisis. So I felt it was a necessity for me to rush. So through most of the gates, I really didn't have much of a problem. Anvil was the one that gave me the most problem. It's kind of like a spiral going up, and you got to find different entrances through the caves. Some of them you can kind of skip those entrances and like run through the lava and get there if you have enough fire resistance. I did that a few times. I think Leowin's like that, possibly. Maybe Skingrad. Chainhall, there's a little like side quest with it. The Wayward Knight. You get in there, and you meet the Count's son, and he's trying to close the gate with the Knights of the Thorn. He died, though, so I didn't end up finishing that quest because he died on me. I wasn't really concerned about keeping him alive, quite frankly. Because, if you're competent enough to get in there, keep yourself alive. But he did not live, and I got the hell out of there. So I went around, did all the gates, headed back to Mr. Martin up on the Cloud Temple area there. And he's reading his books, of course, because that's what Martin does. And he lets me know he needs the blood of a divine, which we figure out we can get at Sancrator, where they keep Tiber Septim's armor. It's kind of between Bruma and Coral. It's north off the road. It's kind of out of the way, up on a hill, I believe, from what I remember. So I snuck in. I did a lot of sneaking. It's mostly filled with like the ghost wraith kind of guys. I ended up killing most of them just because it was just easier. There wasn't a lot of them, so I could handle one or two at a time. And then you kind of come across the skeleton, and you kill him, and he turns into this ghost blade. And then you realize, I got to free these blades. So there's 4 of them, different sections of Sancrator. You go around, you get them, and you go to where the armor is held, and they do this like thing, and they lower the whatever magical shield that the Underking has put on it, the magical seal, which is pretty cool. It's pretty like a moderately epic event because you have the blades there. They're kind of being ceremonial, doing their thing, kneeling down, and they let the magic down. And you go in, and I was assuming there would be some massive battle when I went in, and something would surprise me, but that is not the case. And I was able to pick up the armor and watch as the blades walked off and their duty done. And they kind of like the Ghost Army in Lord of the Rings, kind of like that. So then you get back, you bring that to Martin. Once again, he's reading books. And he's like, I need a great Welkin stone. And I'm like, okay, I can get that for you. And it's at this place called Miscarand, which, of course, Aliad. And it's lots of goblins and undead. But there is a little plus to that, because the goblins and undead don't like each other, apparently. So there was a few times where they would battle each other and kill each other off before I would enter the rooms. And that was quite helpful. So for the goblins, it was pretty easy because they were always sitting around fires mostly. So sometimes, like, if I was walking on a pathway up above, I could sneak past and snipe them from up top and mostly take care of them. The freaking undead, like the zombies and stuff, God, they're the higher level ones. God, they're a pain in the ass, especially like the headless ones. But so I crawled my way through there. Some killing of goblins, some watching goblins get killed by zombies, some watching zombies get killed by goblins. But got my way through there, got the Great Welkin Stone, and I returned that to Martin. And you get there, and he's all like suited up with his armor and stuff, ready to go. And so you, Martin, Joffrey, he's still up there. Bird, if he's still alive, you all head to Bruma to let the Countess know of this awesome plan to have a great gate open outside the city. And she pretty much gets on board. It's not really an issue. But this is where the optional quest of Allies for Bruma comes massively in hand. Because if you don't do that, you don't have a whole hell of a lot of help when the gates start opening up. So, Allies for Bruma, good idea. Just a tip there for everybody playing a game that's a decade old. So you get there, you head outside, and you run like, I think it's like northeast, or no, wait, Bruma, I don't know, like south of the city, something like that. But you run over there, and you see a gate open up, and what I did not realize is that at this point, Martin can die. So, not good. Not good. He died the first time. I'm like, oh shit, I got to protect him. So I did a lot more protecting, because the first time I kind of just ran around the outskirts, like shooting, was not good enough. So I had to get a little more involved in the battle. I did use mostly the bow and arrow and conjuration. I used a lot of conjuration to distract enemies, keep them away from Martin. So we did that. I got to the point where I kept Martin alive until 3 gates have to open, and then the Great Gate opens. I kept him alive to that point, and then he's safe once you get in the Great Gate. Well, not safe, but he can't die. So I get in the Great Gate, and there's this like giant weapon, like creeping towards the gate they're gonna unleash on the people, and you have 15 minutes to close the gate. So I'm like, yes, because I did it in like 3 minutes. So, I mean, if you want to battle people, I'm sure you can. Look, there's a crisis going on. I'm going for it. So I ran my ass into the tower and just, conjured zombies as I'm running up, distracting enemies, just running my ass off, opening doors, hoping I'm going the right way, sometimes getting caught in circles and having to run around in circles a little bit before I could find where I go. And just got all the way to the top and got the Great Welkin. It was actually way easier than it should have been. I'm sure it's much harder if you try and creep through. I tried sneaking at first, and I was like, nah, forget it. I'm running. And I just blasted my way through and used the zombies as a distraction to get my way to the top. So once it's closed, you have everything you need. And once you get that Great Welkin Stone, you have everything you need to open up the gate, the portal to Paradise. And so that's what we did. Martin opens it up. I'm like, all right, cool. I'll hop in. I'll go take care of this shit. I'll go get Mankar and get the book I need. So you go in, and Mankar's talking to you in your head and blah, blah, blah. You just kind of ignore him because it really doesn't matter what he has to say. So I followed the path around. I snuck most of the way, so I didn't really have to worry about the enemies leading up to the grotto. I got to the grotto, and there was nobody there. So I went all the way in, and there was this door I couldn't open. I killed everything in the cave. I came back out, and there was a Dremora I had to battle, but it's Catutet, I think Catutet or Cachutet. I'm not sure exactly how you say it. But anyway, he was on the bridge, and he's like, blah, 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 blah. You killed a lot of my brothers and stuff like that. And I'm like, all right. And he's like, look, you can battle me or do a quest for me. I'm like, do I want to do a quest for him? Do I want to battle him? And then I just shot him with a few arrows and took the leather greaves or something off of him, whatever they were. Bands of the Chosen, that's what they're called. I apologize. So I took those off of him and, went back in, opened the door. So you go in and you're in like a prison part of the grotto, forbidden grotto. You sneak partway through, and this guy, Eldamil, approaches you, and he says he can help you get the bands off. So I was like, all right, I'll take your word for it. You go sneaking along a little further. This Dremora guy comes up to him, like, what are you doing? He's like, this is a new prisoner, blah, blah, blah. So you climb up in this pod. He tells you to climb in, that he could possibly lower you into lava. But thankfully he does not. It's a plus. So I trusted him, and then he let you out. And I was sneaking most of the way through. Eldamil got Elda Milf. I think sorry, in one of my notes I typed as Elda Milf. A little different character. So Eldamil gets killed along the way, unfortunately. Sorry he died. Although he's not really dead because he's already technically dead in the Forbidden Grotto, but whatever. So anyway, I exit there, and I'm in the area where I can get to Mr. Mankar. So I sneak up to his palace. His children, as they call him, let me in his throne room. And this took me several tries, this battle. This was a tough one. He's really resistant to a lot of stuff. I tried, being tactical about it, moving around a lot, and hitting with arrows, conjuring, blah, blah, blah. Eventually, after it might have been 4 or 5 tries, I have a dagger with it does 2 things. I think fire damage and suck life or something, or take health 5 points of health for 2 seconds, something like that. But it does take life, and it does some other damage. Might be shock damage, but I used that, and I kept hitting it with. I had some silence potions, so I'd hit it with a silence potion, whack at him a bunch of times. The silence potion I think was for 18 seconds. And silence and oblivion means he can't cast any spells or anything. So I do that. And that was I think it took me 2 tries that way as well. And then I finally was able to take him out. It was tough. I had to also take some healing potions in the meantime. Because he was a tough battle for sure. But he has a really strong conjuration skill. It's hard to... his robes have some enchantment on them, 10% less damage or something. But yeah, that was a good fun battle, and I got the Amiotic Kings from him. So head back out, and the whole crew were all heading to the Imperial City, to the tower there, to the council, so that Martin can accept his emperorship, I guess. So they meet up with Okado, who's part of the council there. And they're like, yep, we already voted. He's the emperor, blah, blah, blah. So we're like, all right, we got to head to the Temple of the One to light these dragon fires. And we head out of the tower, and there's a shitload of Mythic Dawn and Dremora, or not Dremora, what are they? Oh, the Daedric creatures, All kinds of them. So you got it, once again, got to keep Martin alive. So we do a nice battle. What I did was I actually ran off around, because, it's circular around the tower in the Imperial way there. And I kind of ran off and took a bunch of the creatures with me and, kind of just conjured and sniped and stuff along the way. And by the time I got back around to Martin, they were pretty much dead. And I had taken enough away where he didn't die either. So that was pretty much, it took me I think 2 tries to do that one. The first time I didn't really have a great strategy. The second time I was like, well, if I take a few with me, it'll probably work out. So we did that. Then we get to the temple, and there's a gate. I think some gates open, stuff like that. More battles of the Daedric stuff, the Mythic Dawn, and still got to keep Martin safe, of course. He comes over and talks to you. He's like, I got to get in. I got to open up that thing. After actually Mehrunes Dagon shows up, and he's really, really big. He's like, I don't know, I guess 80 feet tall, something like that. So you get basically all you have to do is get around him and get in the door that's like right behind him. First time I kind of screwed up. Actually, the first couple times I kind of screwed up and ran past him and like ran into other areas of the temple district that I really didn't need to go to and wasted a whole hell of a lot of time. But no, the door was pretty close by, and I eventually figured that out and went in there. He lights the dragon fires and becomes a dragon, and he becomes a dragon statue after he beats Mehrunes Dagon. So that was the epic ending of the main quest. It was a ton of fun. I love the main quest so much. Also you get dragon armor, but I have to wait 2 weeks for that, and since I stopped... I didn't stop playing Oblivion forever, but I took a break from Oblivion right after the main quest. So, what? Sorry, I was reading my notes for a second, and it has a very strange saying on it. But anyway, so I had to take a break. I took a break and went back to Solstheim. I went back to Skyrim with my Orange Julius character. But yeah, I really love the main quest in Oblivion quite a lot. Just some really tough battles. I like the time element in the closing the Great Gate quest. I think that adds a bunch to it. I wish there was more of that in Skyrim, where you had to get things done within a certain time, or risk the whole thing being done. That I like that element of it. It adds a little more urgency to it. Same with Martin being able to be killed at certain points where you have to keep them safe. I like that a lot. I feel those are things I feel like are missing a little bit from Skyrim that are in Oblivion. But that's what I got from Oblivion right now. I'm going to get into Skyrim. We've been playing with Orange Julius. I decided, since the roundtable was in Solstheim, I was kind of like pumped. I was like, cool, Solstheim, I'm going to head over there. I figured it worked out with my character, and so I went over there and did that. But before I get into that, because I got some feedback and stuff, I want to get into the feedback before I forget anything. So Andrew had another update on his Dead is Dead character. And, sorry, son of a gun. I clicked something to open up the wrong thing, but I'm going to pull that up on my phone because it's a pain in the ass to do it on the computer, apparently. Yeah, so I took my character and I was like, you know what? I think most likely he would definitely... Oh, here it is.
Hello, Skyrim Addicts. This is Andrew from the Roundtable. And it was really fun while it lasted, but my purple Aragonian has finally bit the dust for my Dead is Dead playthrough, sadly. I was adventuring in a Falmer cave of some sort. I forget which one exactly. But I had Vigilance the Warhound with me. And he bit the dust, so I was like, well, maybe I'll find another animal follower that would be fun to play around with. So I settled on finding Gleda the Goat, who Michael was assigned for his Roundtable playthrough. And I'd never actually had Gleda the Goat before, and so I decided to look into that. And you get Gleda the Goat from the A Night to Remember quest at some point, where you drink with Sam, and you wake up from a hangover, and evidently you've caused all sorts of debauchery around Skyrim, and the Dibella Temple in Markarth, and I don't know, you'd get into all sorts of bad stuff. I'm not sure how you get around so far in one evening. But you end up running all over the place, causing trouble, and evidently sell a goat from Rorikstead to a giant who lives near there. Well, I went to the giant, and wandered around, and I could never see any goat anywhere. So I decided to go ahead and progress through the quest a little more just to see if I could make the goat appear back with the giant somehow. And then Yosalda told me that I needed to go up to Morvunsker to find more information. So I was making my way down the river there, and just after Whiterun, there's this gigantic waterfall, and I thought I was making my way down the sides of the waterfall just fine, but evidently there were some slippery rocks, and I took a tumble at least 100 feet down below. I thought I could hug the side. I thought I could scamper down gracefully like a lizard should be able to do, but no such luck. My purple Argonian, dead as dead, took the tumble all the way down and crashed and died. And I was very disappointed because that is such a horrible way to die just because of stupidity in my dead is dead. It's not like I was dying in the glory of battle. It's not like I was hunting vampires. It's not like I was going up against giants. Actually, I survived a giant attack earlier in the playthrough. So this is just very disappointing. And I'm super sad to see Dead is Dead go, because I was already up to level 14. I felt like I was making really good progress. I just got the transmute spell from the halted stream camp, and I mined a bunch of iron ore, transmuted into gold, made a bunch of jewelry, made a bunch of smithing perks and money and stuff. So I felt like I was really getting going with this character. And then stupidity killed the lizard. So I'm very sorry to say that I am done with this Dead is Dead playthrough, but maybe I'll try it again sometime in the future. It was really fun, and I was actually really invested. I was super careful. It really changed my play style a lot. Like, I was sitting back and shooting with bows and arrows way more than I ever have before. If anyone listens to the podcast, they know that I'm a two-handed fan. I like the Warhammers a lot. But it has really, changed my play style. I used Fury a lot, especially at the halted stream camp. It was really fun to sit up at the top of the ramp there, and I blasted everyone and just watching everyone just take each other out. And then the bandit chief was the last guy, and I just took one tap with my fire mace that I made, and he went down. But yeah, I used Fury a lot more. I used archery a lot more. I actually was picking up arrows and using my bow, which I never do before. So I'd like to thank, I think it was Ben and maybe Victor, who brought attention to the Dead is Dead playthrough. It was a really good time, but my purple Argonian finally died, so I guess the bottom of that waterfall is where she will lay forever and ever, until the slaughterfish come and nibble the meat off her bones. Rest in peace, Dead is Dead, and I hope everyone is enjoying their playthrough. Please send in audio feedback to the podcast, because we always love hearing it. And happy Skyrimming.
Thank you, Andrew. All right, so I had to do that because in my notes, I was taking some notes on Solstheim, and the first one says, Ben Lingerie. So, that did not happen in the game. Hopefully Ben Monroe is not sending me lingerie pictures. Apparently, Ben Congerike turns into Ben Lingerie in your notes, on your notepad, on your iPhone, when you type it in. So anyway, I made my way over to Solstheim with Orange Julius, the loner character, lone wolf, who is roaming the countryside, just taking stuff, doing whatever he wants. So what I decided to do was, I was like, all right, I'll head to Windhelm, not go into the city. I can sneak onto the docks. If I have to kill the two guards that are down there, whatever. I'll get there and I'll get on the boat and head over to Solstheim. I thought that would work out well. He's like, my guy wants to get away. He wants to sneak away. I thought that would work out well. So the first time I went over there, the guard battle didn't go so well. I have no health. I've been putting almost everything into magicka and stamina. Stamina's good with the bow and arrow because, when you're zooming in and all that, obviously I can carry more stuff too. And the magic is good because I'm conjuring. conjuring the bow and stuff like that. So that didn't go so well the first couple times. Or the first time. I didn't die. I didn't actually die. I had to just run away until they settled down and I could get down there and kill them. Then I eventually made my way to Solstheim. So I got there, immediately got the hell out of the city there, city, settlement, whatever you want to call it, and ran my way down to the east and towards Tel Mithrin that way. So started heading over there. Obviously, you come across that one guard who's battling all of the Ash Spawn guys. So I helped him, and I just took off. I didn't want his quest. There's another little bandit settlement kind of thing with a boat. Took care of all of them. There's that one, Fort Frostmoth, I think it was. I went to, and that's where you go in, and the guy's got all the spawns and stuff like that. And you got to go through the 2 sections of the fort. That was pretty cool. That was a good battle. Although I took him out, and he ended up laying on the floor with an arrow in his belly and his legs spread in front of me. But I think I 2-shotted him, but he couldn't see me. My sneak is pretty high level, and I got a lot of perks, so it's going pretty well. Eventually made my way towards Tel Mithrin. I didn't go in. I was undecided on what I wanted to do there, if I wanted to go in or not. Because I figured then I could. I think that guy in there, I know he sells stuff. I was like, should I use him? I think so. I think I could use him. He's far enough off the beaten path where this character would probably be able to use him. So I went to that. After there, I just kind of breezed by there. Went to that Dwemer ruin right next door. Those bandits, obviously you can't get in there. That's quest locked. But I just cleared off all those guys. Worked my way around a little more. Got to the little pirate camp where you can get the Death Brand stuff. For some reason, I couldn't start that quest. I don't know if there's some other thing I need to do to start that quest. But I got the book, and I killed the pirates that were there. Snuck up to... Oh, I know what I wanted to do. I decided, I was like, you know what? I'm going to help the Reekling, and I'm going to become their chief. So that's what I did. I met those weirdos down the hill from them who got kicked out of the... I forget the name of the hall. I apologize. So I met them, and they're like, oh, we got kicked out of the hall. The Reeklings took it over. So I went up there, and I was like, oh, and you cannot understand a thing the Reekling chief is saying. But I was like, all right, I'll help you out. So you go down the hill, attack, kill the people. Did that. And then chief's like, what, you want to be chief? We got a battle about this. And so you kill him, and you become chief. And they will help you in random places. And then I felt bad because I went to Ben Lingerie, and I had to kill Reeklings. So that's not that fun. No, I stumbled across... God, let me see if I can butcher this name one more time. Ben Kongarik. I'll go with that. I'm going to call it Ben Lingerie. And so I went into there. Little did I know, there's a black book in there, which is awesome. So I went into there. I, worked my way through the ruins there. And I got to this room. I'm like, man, this looks familiar. And I was like, the black book, awesome. So I read the book, went into the Apocrypha, and this is one where you can get Bardic Knowledge, Black Market, or Secret Servant. So you can get a Dremora Butler, a Dremora Merchant, or Stamina Regeneration. And I was like, I need a merchant. This is perfect. I stumbled in here. I completely forgot what this was all about. I got in here. And I end up with something perfect for my character. So that worked out extremely, extremely well. After that, I got out of there, obviously. I continued on. I went to Karstag, where that dude's at. So you go in this one other cave that's right nearby there, and you get his head. And then you go to Karstag. I am nowhere near leveled up enough to battle this dude. So I didn't happen to get to any vampires like other people, unfortunately. I wanted to, but my playtime got cut off today. I had a wedding this weekend to go to, so Unfortunately, I didn't. But I did have a battle with a monster, and his name was Karstag. So I got through. I snuck my way through all the area before him, picking off the Reeklings, which I felt terrible about since I'm their chief. And I got in, and I'm like a level 31, but I really have no protection. I'm wearing robes. I'm easy pickings. I do have like Conjure. I have Conjure Seeker, Conjure Flame Atronak, and I'm not buying spells, so I'm only getting when I come across. So I don't even have like Oak Flesh or anything. I haven't even found that. So I tried it a few times. The first time he hit me with whatever the hell he carries, and I flew like 10 times higher than a giant when they hit you. It was like, I was like, well, that went well. So I tried it like 3 times, and I wasn't even denting the dude. So I was like, all right, I'm going to come back to this. So I left Karstag, and I headed to White Ridge Barrow, which is also has a black book in it. So I got to White Ridge, and that has the Sallow Regent black book in it. Which, what does that give you? Oh, okay. You can get Seeker of Might, Seeker of Sorcery, or Seeker of Shadows. Might combat skills are increased by 10%. Sorcery spells cost 10% less magicka. And Seeker of Shadows stealth skills are 10% more effective. This is a tough choice. I didn't know whether to go with the Sorcery or the Shadows. Because I do use both a reasonable amount of the time. So I ended up going with the Shadows, but before that, there's a great battle with, why can't I remember his name? Before you get to the Black Book, why is it not showing me White Ridge Barrow? Let me pull up White Ridge Barrow real quick, because I forget the dude's name, the battle at the end. Boom, boom, boom. Apologize for that. His name is Dukan. That's it. So anyway, you kind of go through the. It's like kind of like a regular. It kind of looks like the area where we find Draugr and stuff. So there's a lot of spiders and stuff like the blown up spiders and ice spiders and albino spiders. This is where you can make them, I believe. So you find there's also these like weird glowing bandits, and then you open this other room. It's a pretty cool little. It's not really a dungeon. It's like a cave / dungeon. I don't know, whatever you would call it. Kind of reminds me of the ruins with the Draugr in them, though. But you crawl through these areas with mostly the spiders and the spider pods, and some bandits here and there. And then once you get through that area, you get to the Word Wall room, where the Black Book is also, and of course there's a Dragon Priest Dukan there. And I didn't have too much trouble with him. It took me like 2 or 3 tries until I got a solid plan. What I did was I had Conjure Seeker and Conjure Flame Atronak that I used mostly. I found the Flame worked better because Dukan has he's good with the ice. Ice is his specialty. So I conjured the Flame Atronak, but in the end, I ended up being able to sneak him with the conjured bow mostly. That seemed to work the best for me because they just weren't doing enough damage to him. So I went with that. But the place where you can make the spiders or spider scrolls is within White Ridge Barrow. So if you want that, that's there. And I conjured up my guy while I was there, my merchant, and sold some stuff, so that was cool. Next, where did else? Oh, that was pretty much all my character had done. I'm getting ready to head back to the mainland with him, and kind of do some other stuff. That's kind of what I'm hoping for. But before I get to that, we have some vampire takes from Andrew and Brad. Brad's I'm going to read, so let me pull that up right now. Here you go. It says hello, and after hearing Andrew talk about the Vampire Halloween special, he decided to jump right in, which is awesome. I first like to introduce Sojourn. Hopefully I pronounced that correct, and I didn't butcher it like I assume I did. He's a level 36 Nord with a skill set in archery and stealth, like a sniper of old. Man close to my heart. He is currently followed by Rhea, a companion and true pain in the ass. Yeah. Oh, yeah, she jumps in front of people a lot as far as I remember. He lost his real buddy, Jaro, but by this I don't mean dead. I mean he actually, when you lose a file, yeah, he actually lost them. Yeah, that happens. I hate that. That's so freaking annoying. Anyways, I decided to head over to Movarth's lair as I was nearby and to start my adventure there. I entered the lair and immediately hit with creepy music, which I have on surround sound. Oh, you know what? I've had the music off on my playthrough for a while. Somebody had mentioned that they don't use the music when they play, and I started playing that way, and it's really cool. But I think I'm going to switch back to the music because I really enjoy the music. And then another thing I'll talk about later, but yeah, that I got to add the music back in. And I figured I would go with the stealthy approach, which is something Rhea decided to ignore and alert every Tom, Dick, and Harry in sight. Not only that she was using a staff of fireballs, which when fired in a small space is like a fucking nuclear explosion, and you can't see a thing. Anyways, we encounter a vampire thrall who is sitting, staring at his plate of raw beef, and I take him out with a sly shot to the head with a dwarven arrow, which makes him somehow bent backwards over in a chair like I snapped him in half. Yeah, you get some interesting death poses when you get people with arrows. That's for certain. I had a really cool one with a giant that I had posted. But so anyway, he continues. I continue on through some small corridors, picking off the thralls as they attempt to destroy me with their magic, until I see a couple of master vampires and Movarth just walking around. Sorry, I was about to choke. So I creep around the corner, get them in sight, draw my bow back fully. Bang! Rhea decides to light up the place with some fireballs. That is such a... I haven't used followers in a long time, and that's pretty much fucking why. So the gentleman and I let her take the full force of the vampires whilst I sat and shot them from the distance. I take out the first master vamp and set my sights on the second, which is handing Rhea's ass to her. But I find myself sitting back and watching a while like a sadistic maniac. She is now on the ground, and I think to myself, maybe I should help now. I stand up, line up the glass arrow, and send it flying through the air, straight in the temple, sending the vampire into the bookcase. Meanwhile, Movarth decides he will become invisible and resurrects the first vamp. I shoot everywhere just to seek him out until I see a wave-like effect. So I shoot fire after... So I fire shot after shot, watching his health rapidly decrease until gone. The vamp turns to ashes, but Movarth is nowhere to be seen. I wander, determined to find his remains, to seek my reward, but to no avail. Oh, he didn't become visible. I walk further through the corridor, which leads to a huge dining area, when something catches my eye, flying at the top of the cave. I usually think it's a bat of some kind. I stop and look, only to realize it's Movarth darting across the room, spinning and twitching like he's possessed. It was crazy. He was circling a pillar of the cave, round and round and round, gibbering until all of a sudden he comes crashing down to the dining table with a great thump. Plates and meats fall to the floor. My first thought, and what I imagine everyone's first thought to do, is take a Skyrim selfie. Absolutely. It turns out my lack of concentration would bite me in the ass as a vamp behind me blasts me in the side of the head with his fuck magic, whilst Rhea standing going, huh? Like I poked her in the boob. I chase the vampire up the stairs to a small room where he and another thrall wait patiently for my arrival. I start firing arrows their way when Rhea decides to try and get past me to attack, trapping us in the doorway like a couple of fat kids running for leftover pie. After some struggling, I break free and let her go past and immediately shoot her in the back of the head. In a moment of rage, it kills her. Oops. I did free... Wait. Sorry. I lost my spot for a second. I did feel a bit bad but I was still in a battle and had no time for guilt-ridden sadness. I first rode out the thralls, sending them flying across the room. I take out the Dawnbreaker and hack the first one. Hack the first one to the ground, turn and stab the other right through the heart, and dropping them like a bag of shit. I walk over to Rhea, pay my respects, and loot her for everything she has, and head back out to the wilds of Skyrim. Make my way to Fort Dawnguard, where my story continues. He says we've been doing a couple quests here and there, and we'll send feedback ASAP. Awesome. Definitely appreciate it. And he sent this one in quickly, but hey, it was pretty thorough. So thank you, sir. Thank you, Brad. I appreciate that. And I have another one from Andrew here. Let me pull that up, and it should play right now.
Hello, Skyrim Addicts. This is Andrew from the Round Table, and I thought I would call in with just a little bit of audio feedback. We posted in the Facebook group that we were going to do some vampire playthrough in honor of this weekend being Halloween. So I played a bunch of different little vampire caves, and I thought I would call in, give a little audio feedback to tell you about my adventures. Well, I had resurrected my character Poit, who is the only character I've maxed out everything on. She is a level 81 Red Guard, and I would say emphasis and two-handed, but, you know, since she's a level 81 and maxed out on everything, I guess she's a pretty well-rounded character. But when I loaded up Poit, it was the first time I've played her in about a year or so, so it's been a long time. But when we woke up, we were in Hiram, however you pronounce that house up in Winterhold, and I had a housecarl named Colder who was with me, so I decided, hey Colder, let's go out and find some adventuring to do. So we went out, and the first thing we did was stop by Whiterun. We went to Jorvaskr and talked to the companions, and said, hey, let me be a werewolf since it's the festive Halloween weekend. And so I wolfed out, and then we started on our vampire hunting adventures. I thought it would be pretty appropriate to be a werewolf hunting down vampires. So our first stop was at Broken Fang Cave. And I remember Broken Fang Cave being a really, really tough challenge earlier in the game. I've cleared most of these off before, but upon returning, you know, you see all the blood on the outside of the cave, and it's a really gross scene. And my follower, Colder, said, oh, I don't like the looks of this place. And I agree with you, Colder, but as we went inside, we found a master vampire and a few other thralls and such. And we dispatched with them all right, but as a werewolf, you can't really pick anything up. So unless I wanted to wait around and pick up their bodies, then, you know, which I did do that in some of the caves. But Broken Fang Cave, we just kind of did it in and out real quick. Took care of the vampires we found inside, and popped back out. And every time I turned into a human, I would do the wait for 24 hours thing, and then fast travel to the next vampire cave on the list. And then I would go into the cave, and then wolf out again. And the next cave on the list was the Bloodlet Throne. And that one was pretty fun, because when I went inside, there was a couple gargoyle statues standing down once you go down the stairs. And as soon as you pass one of them, he pops up, and you have an epic battle between the werewolf and the gargoyle. It was really fun. I thought that was really cool. I'd never given much attention to the werewolf playthrough, and so I didn't really know how it worked. So I had to kind of play around. And his power attack is really, really awesome. You use 3 swipes of your claws, and it does a lot of good damage. And I liked it when you do the finishing attack, because he munches down on someone's neck. And, you know, you go to the kill cam and slash, 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 and munch, 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 and it was pretty cool. So after we defeated the gargoyle, that was one where I was still running around deep in the Bloodlet Throne when I became human again. And so I went and picked up the flawless gems that were on the gargoyle, and he was loaded with some gold ore. And inside I found a silver ore vein, and a bunch of wolves in cages. So we let them out, thinking, oh, I'm a werewolf. Maybe they'll be nice to me now. But no, the wolves still attacked me for some reason. So I thought they would be my little minions and they'd follow me around or something. But no, I had to kill the poor wolves too. There were 4 vampire fledglings I found in that cave. Also, actually, it was a little castle. Some vampire's thrall, a normal vampire, a blooded vampire, and I found a bunch of iron ore. There was an iron ore vein in there as well. So I came out, and the next vampire cave on the list was Haymar's Shame. And that one I had been to before. That's the whole Daedra quest where you get the dog Barbas, who is the talking dog who will follow you around. And if anyone's been listening to the show a long time, you'll remember that I had a bug with Barbas, and that I chose not to kill Barbas, and I chose not to do whatever the quest was requesting me to do. So I just left at the end of the quest without killing Barbas and not taking the weapon. And so I went back. Barbas is still alive, and he's in the final chamber there, and he's fighting vampires all by himself. So I was thinking, holy crap, Barbas, have you just been in here fighting vampires like this whole year where Poit has been up in Winterhold? And so little Barbas was there fighting all these vampires. And I tried to use some fury in there to get everyone to attack each other. There was vampire fledgling. There were 2 of those, a vampire thrall, and a vampire night slayer. And he was pretty tough. They had the ice spike and that soul suck, that red sort of like streaming soul health draining magic spell that they have. And they killed me, actually. So that was a big feat to do because Poit was pretty strong. Even in wolf form, I had trouble. I also ran into a vampire mistwalker, and that was a very power-leveled vampire as well. Also ran into a blooded vampire, 2 vampire thralls, a couple of giant frost spiders, and as soon as I left out the back of Haymar's Shame, I was attacked by the Dawn Guard, those stupid bastards. They knocked me down the cliff, and my horse, Shadowmere, came to try to help, but those darn Dawn Guard are fighting me all over the place now too, since I was a werewolf. But anyway, I tried to get Barbas to follow me out, but my animal followers definitely bugged in that playthrough, and Barbas wouldn't follow me out at all. So I decided to go ahead and proceed to the next vampire den, and it was Mara's Eye Den. And if you know this, there's a pond called Mara's Eye Pond, and there's a little island in the middle, and if you look really hard under some bushes, there is a trap door leading down, and inside you find a couple of vampires. I think there were just 2 blooded vampires, but there was a nice boss chest that I found. It's some water. If you go down, you find a staff of fear. At least I did in my playthrough. And there was a Vigilant of Stendar that was dead in the cage up against the wall. But the boss chest down there in the bottom had lots of really nice stuff in there. So go check out Mara's Eye Den, which is in Mara's Eye Pond, which is, I think, just southwest of Winterhold a little bit. And then I went over to the Moldering Ruins, and that's kind of like a little hut outside. And when I showed up, a death hound attacked me immediately, and a thrall, a vampire's thrall. But you go up inside the hut, and there's a little trap door, which opens up into a nice little vampire cave. Inside, I found a thrall and a Night Master vampire. The Night Master was the hardest vampire that I faced in my little vampire trip. But after taking care of them, I decided to pop out and go to one last place, which was Movarth's lair. And Movarth had a couple of spiders as you enter, had 4 or 5 thralls, who I all took care of them as well. There was some blooded vampires, and Movarth himself, which I didn't even get a chance really to get what kind of vampire Movarth was, because I killed him so quickly, just kind of snuck up and took care of Movarth before he had even a chance to attack me. But I assume he was a pretty powerful vampire. But again, the werewolf was really fun, and I liked the leveling system. I've never really played with that before, but you feed on some corpses, and then you build up your levels, and it lets you do like 25% more damage with your werewolf attacks, and you do that for a while. And then it has a bunch of different other trees. But I didn't get too far into it, so maybe I'll look into playing some werewolf a little bit more, because it was definitely more fun than I remember. And I immediately cured it in my last playthrough. And so, playing the werewolf was pretty fun. So I suggest if you haven't looked into it very much, go ahead and play some werewolf. It's a really good time. But anyway, so this was Andrew, and I will go ahead and sign off with my vampire hunting expedition as a werewolf. Again, it's pretty fun, so check it out if you want to. The Skyrim Adventures in Werewolf Vampire Hunting. It's a good time in celebration of Halloween. So hopefully I get this in time so Michael can tack it on to his live Skyrim Addict recording session I believe he's trying to do tonight. So I will go ahead and sign off and say, everyone, please listen to the Facebook group, or join the Facebook group, listen to the podcast. If you want to join up in the roundtable, hit us up at skyrimroundtable@gmail.com. And happy Skyrimming.
Thank you, sir. Yes, Barbas is a great follower because he will just battle a bunch of shit. But he's also a terrible follower because, like Rhea, that we heard about previously in Movars, he will run ahead and start a bunch of shit when you're trying to sneak. So there's always that issue. All right. So that's all I got for this show. Before I get into my pimping stuff, there's a Facebook group that I found that I would like to put out there also besides the Skyrim Addict podcast Facebook group, and it's facebook.com/group/SkyrimFanatics1, Skyrim Fanatics #1, the number 1 at the end of it. A really good group, no drama group. Lots of people post in there. I haven't seen any issues with anything. They do a nice job keeping it tight, keeping the spam out, keeping the drama out. Really good, decent sized group, and it's just all Skyrim stuff, Skyrim, Elder Scrolls stuff. So that's another group. If you want to go check that out, please definitely go do that. They're a closed group, so you have to ask for permission to enter. That's all. All right. So for our stuff, for the Skyrim Addict stuff, you can email the show to skyrimaddictpodcast@gmail.com. The show art is from one Miss Cloudfar. You can find her stuff at Etsy.com. If you go to Etsy.com/MayaFirePrints, MaiaFireprints. You can also find the show on Twitter. At Skyrim Addict on Twitter. And actually, I'm on Instagram now for some unknown reason. I decided to do that. And I think it's a Skyrim Addict podcast, all one word, on Instagram. Also on YouTube now, a Skyrim Addict on YouTube. So if you would like to watch the shows on there for whatever reason, I have no idea. I just thought it would be a good way to get it out to more people. So if you would like to watch me on a 80-inch screen, drink coffee and things like that, and hopefully not accidentally pick boogers or something, you could do that. So you can do that as well. And if you would like to join in the roundtable, I believe the email is skyrimroundtable@gmail.com, and hit up Andrew for that. And because I know they got Civil War stuff coming up after they get done in Solstheim. But you can really jump in at any time. So if you want to get involved in that, definitely email him. And also, any of the stuff over at metalsharkstudios.blogspot.com. I know Earwash is, I think they were taking a slight break maybe. But still, I miss that show kind of because I like hearing about podcasts. So, because I'm a podcast junkie. I'm trying to think if I have anything else. I don't think I have anything else. We are recording a Chatterbox this week also. We were supposed to record last week, but that show is kind of loosey-goosey, and we kind of record it whenever we can. Maybe we'll try and do it in Google. Last time I tried to do that, shit went crazy and nothing worked. So we'll see what happens. That might be all I have. So, did I say everything? Did I pimp everything? I did. Goodbye.
If you like this podcast, then consider checking out
and
the other...
that is live radio right there, because that is the wrong sounder for the end of the show. Hello. Episode... I think this is episode 53. I'm hoping that, because that's what I labeled it. I could have miscounted, though, because that sometimes happens. So anyway, I was still playing some Skyrim. So I'll get into that character in a moment. But, as we all know, this week coming up... Sorry, I just got to eating dinner. This week coming up is the 3rd anniversary of the release of the game, which is cool. Let's see, the first probably 2 years, I don't think it left my console, left my 360. I don't think it was ever taken out for at least a year and a half, maybe 2. It was a long time. So look, I didn't really plan to talk about it at all. So off the cuff here, I don't really plan that much though. So off the cuff here, I would say, let's see, my favorite. Let's see, let me look back at my favorite parts of the game. Probably my favorite parts of the game. Let's say favorite quest. I'll go with. Man, I like the main quest, but I'm gonna go with Dark Brotherhood because I like sneaking a lot. I think the Dark Brotherhood's pretty good for me. Wiping them out's really not that fun because that's pretty quick. But joining them, not too bad. I really kind of like that one. My favorite DLC was definitely Dragonborn. I liked Dawnguard, but yeah, Dragonborn was there was just so much more to it. It was so much more fun. I did like Hearthfire as well. That was kind of just like an add-on. That wasn't like a full DLC. They did get some things because of that. And the housing add-on for those of us on the consoles was really nice. So that was definitely a bonus. I was really hopeful that we were going to get something beyond Dragonborn, and looking at how many people are still buying and playing it, I don't know if that, I don't know the economics of it, so I can't say if it would have been a good investment or not, but for me it would have been a good investment. I would have loved to have seen, like, let's see, maybe get into a different land a little bit, or maybe go back in time and see a Dwemer ruin as it was working, or something like that. Just something crazy. Or maybe something with the college, expand the college a bit, expand out Solstheim a little more. I don't know. I'm sure there were things I thought of back in the day, and I didn't really plan on discussing it, like as I said, so I didn't really think about what I would have wanted otherwise. But yeah, maybe another large expansion would have been awesome. Kind of like, what was it, Shivering Isles and Oblivion, where you go into a whole new world. But I mean, that's kind of like Solstheim, where you're going to a different place. Not a new world, obviously, but, or a separate world like Shograth. But yeah, I could have handled one more DLC. That would have been pretty cool. But we didn't get that, unfortunately. But I mean, I think I got my $60 worth out of the game. That's for sure. I also really like the Thieves Quest. Yeah. My least favorite. Let me think. Since we're at the 3 mark, what was my least favorite part? Load screens on console. Pretty bad part. It's not really a favorite of mine. Console load screens are excessive, we'll say. Minutes and minutes and minutes of time just sitting there waiting. Let's see if there was a particular quest I was disappointed in off the top of my head. Companions, that was okay. I wasn't super thrilled with companions. Passable, I'll say. I don't know why that one just didn't work as well for me. I think I liked it better in later playthroughs than I did originally. But overall, I thought that could have been a little deeper. The only other things that, like, I would say disappointed me are interactions with the NPCs who don't seem to change their reaction even after you do incredible things. That's a bit disappointing. I would have liked to have seen maybe it expanded out, become Emperor for a little bit or something. That would have been pretty cool. But alas, that did not happen either. So it's kind of a little look back at the last 3 years of the game. I just realized it was the 9th of November. Jesus Christ, November already. And, man, can't believe it's been 3 years that it's been out. Definitely got my money's worth, though, that's for sure. I'm guessing everybody else did, too. So, I believe I left off. I'd battled Karstag last time with Orange Julius. Orange Julius still roaming the countryside. He was in Solstheim for a while. He has worked his way back to good old Skyrim. Kind of just traveling the countryside. Still have not made it to a town. The Dremora merchant is amazing when you don't go to towns. Really, really helpful, to say the least. I have done a lot of trading with him. I want to pull up some images. Sorry about that. That I can see of that has my stats and stuff on it, so I can discuss those. And of course, it's like showing up blank. Because why wouldn't it? Of course it would. So, some of the quests, let me go through what good old Orange Julius has done. Let's see. I have open quests of Before the Storm, which obviously main quest. Golden Claw, I have that. I haven't returned it because I didn't go into the town. Boethi is calling. I need to find a follower to take there. I'm definitely going to do that. I just need to find a follower. March of the Dead, which I'm not sure what it is. Oh, that's the Solstheim one where you got to clear out the guy is digging up the ruin, and you help him clear it out. Every so often, he sends you a carrier, and you go back there and do that. And Unearthed. My miscellaneous quests currently is Return to Kjar. At the docks at Windhelm there, because I obviously had to go there to get on the boat. And I get a quest to clear out a cave or something. Investigate the Boethi occultist, which I did, so I don't know why that's still on there. Visit the Museum of Dawnstar, which I'm not going to do, and find out about Dawnguard. I may do Dawnguard, as that's, I don't think I need to go in cities for that. I completed Lost to the Ages, Evil in Waiting, Black Book, the Sallow Regent, Black Book Untold Legends, Chief of Thirst Call, Break of Dawn, and something else that I can't read. Sorry about that. I have discovered 150 locations. Let's see. Other important stuff on here. Doesn't really matter about gold. I've bartered 408 times now that I have a Dremora merchant. So that's nice. Completed 7 quests. 11 miscellaneous objectives completed. Main quests completed 1. I assume that's the first one. First part of the main quest, I should say. Only 2 side quests and 1 Daedric quest, obviously the Break of Dawn quest. I've killed a lot of people. I killed 447 people already. I've only killed 170 creatures. And 8 Daedra and 89 automatons, because I wiped out a bunch of them in this recent round. Favorite weapon, bound bow. 1,038 sneak attacks and 1,200 critical strikes, because I am just sneaking and shooting them. More of that. I slaughtered 1 bunny. I've learned 23 spells, and that's without being able to buy any, so that's pretty damn good. I've amassed a good amount of spells. Favorite, obviously, bound bow, because I use that every 5 seconds. I've learned 13 words of power in my travels without any dragons being around. 10 different shouts, so, some of them obviously are additions to the other ones. I've only used 4 soul gems to recharge, because I don't really use the other bows much. I have trapped 150 souls and made some. I've been doing some enchanting just as to build up the skill, so I can get the double enchantments. Basically, I don't really use them on the weapons. I did just get the paralyze enchantment though, so may make myself a bow with paralyze on it because that would be pretty cool. I've made a bunch of potions. I carry them. I use them. I made 4 weapons. I gotta do some smithing. I have not done any smithing really. I have a bunch of material. Oh yeah, that's what I'm about to do is go do a bunch of smithing because I just got in with a little orc, one of the orc strongholds, one way out west by Markarth. Did a mission for them. I think what did I get them? Those gauntlets of smithing or something like that. So I can go in there, I can trade, I can use all their smithing and stuff like that. So I was waiting for a place like that because I figured the Orc Stronghold for this character is kind of a perfect place to go to. Off the beaten path, not part of the cities, anything like that. My bounties aren't that bad, surprisingly, because I generally kill everyone, so not really a lot of witnesses left. Whiterun bounty is like 1,000. Total bounty is 5,200, and my largest bounty is 2,000. So that's not too bad. Got to build that up some. 31 murders and 35 assaults. Let's see. Okay, so I'm a level 40 right now. Illusion's 81. I'll go over the things I'm actually using. Archery's 87. Sneak 98. A lot of the other stuff is really low. Enchanting's 83 because I've done a good bit of enchanting. Smithing's only 33. Alteration 33. Restoration 29. Block two-handed, all minimal. Conjuration's 58. That's going up because of my use of the bow. Obviously, Alchemy's 56 because I do make some potions. The spells I have acquired. Let's see. Banished Daedra. Is that a shit? That might be. Banished Daedra. Black Market. Oh, that's... sorry, Black Market is the Daedra merchant. So the spells I've acquired are Bound Battle Axe, Bound Bow, Bound Sword, Candlelight, Clairvoyance, Close Wound, Command Animals a skill, Conjure Flame Atronach, Conjure Seeker, which is nice. I've used that a few times. Flame Cloak, Flamethrower, All Flames, Frostbite, Grand Healing. Came across that puppy out of like nowhere. Healing Hands, Ice Spear, Lesser Ward, Muffle, use that quite a bit. Raise Zombie, Reanimate Corpse, Sparks. Stone Flesh, finally got Stone Flesh, which is nice. Transmute and Turn Lesser Undead. So those are the spells I've been able to acquire without having, being able to go to the different mages and stuff. Just books I've found, basically. I'm wearing a archery necklace, an archery ring, and an ebony helmet of Eminent Archery that I bought off of Mr. Black Market. I bought off of him. Expert Robes of Illusion I'm rocking. Ebony Boots of Dwindling Frost. I threw those on when I was battling Karstag, and I still have them on, so they're there. Yeah, my necklace and my ring, both Archery Plus, and they're ones that I had created. So that's all I'm wearing there. Weapon-wise, obviously, I'm just using the bound bow, so that's not that important. All right. Anyway, to get into what the places I traveled to. I started out. I was still in Solstheim, so I was in one of these Dwemer names, Falbazars, which has a great Steam puzzle. So I there's Reeklings outside, worked my way in, and I had forgotten what this was, but this is where you get the Kagramez Gauntlet. This is where this starts. So you go into the first area, and there's like this pedestal where you have to put the resonance gems to open up the door. I forget where you get them at. I know the one guy that has that silk strider. He sells one. Oh, and you get 2 in inside of. Oh wait, Kagurmez is inside of Fall Bazaar. Sorry, let me go back to where I was. So I was in Fall Bazaars. So I got through there. I think what you do is I think there's a. Okay, Fall Bazaar. Okay, this one. All right. Sorry, I got confused for a second. Yeah, so I was roaming I was just exploring Solstheim in general, and I came across there was Reeklings outside, and still I feel bad for killing them, like I said last week, because I was a chief. I am the chief of the Reeklings, so killing them kind of sucks. Fall Bazaars is the one with the gear puzzle, the big gear puzzle, which is really cool. I really enjoyed that. That's just such a really cool looking place. Kind of rivals Blackreach. Obviously not as large as Blackreach, but just the gear situation going on and having to sneak across them and get the towers to turn and line up and things like that. Very, very cool. I really, really like the look of it. And some good puzzles in here. You get to that one room that has the big circular steam puzzle where you have to light up the lights to the exact right amount or stuff comes and gets you, basically. So got through there. That was I really enjoyed that ruin, that Dwemer ruin. One of the good places. So obviously I did the Kagurmez Gauntlet. So you go into Kagurmez, which is another Dwemer ruin, and there is a pedestal in the main hall where you can put the resonance gems. You get 2 of them. When you go in, there's a couple Reavers in there, which are the bandits on Solstheim. So they have 2. You can get 1. You need 4 total to get through it. So you can get one of the Silk Strider guy over by Telmethrin and Fall Bazaars. Then I'm butchering the hell out of that name. The Visage of Mizun. That's what I got at Fall Bazaar. That's where you can do like the steam out of your face, like the one of the Guardians, Dwemer Guardians. Let's see, one more can be found at Chardak, which is, I guess, another Dwemer ruin. But I did not go to get one there because I already had the other 4. So, anyway, you have to get the resonance gems. You'll see the lights above the door. You set them up like that. You put them in the pedestal. You activate it. Boom, these fences come up around you. You got to battle a bunch of automatons. Go through that. That was pretty cool. Then you get into this next room, and you run over there, and you see, I got to set up the pattern like this. You run back, set up the pattern, go back through that next gate, battle a bunch of things again. Then you get to a third pattern. That's what you need the 4 of them for. And so you end up, one of the big items you get is the Dwarven Black Bow of Fate, which I think I used maybe a little bit, but I wanted to. You can't get the enchantment off it, which would be awesome, but it's a 50% chance of absorbing each of the 3 attributes, obviously being health, magic, and stamina. So, and you can temper it with ebony ingot. Having trouble speaking tonight. Sorry. So I actually have that stashed away at Drela's in case I want to use it later on after I get into some smithing. So after that, I kind of wandered around some more. Ended up at the Temple of Mirak, oddly enough. Obviously didn't go in since I'm not in that quest at all. But ended up at the Altar of Thrond, and there's a cave attached to that, which is, there's 3 hag ravens inside. Just a small cave. And apparently this was also in Blood Moon. Because when I was looking it up on the UESP, I noticed it was on there. So that's pretty cool that something that continues on from that far back. But yeah, that was just a 3 hag raven cave. Went in there, shot them. The usual from afar. So then I let's see, went back to good old Skyrim. Went back to mainland. Wandered around there. Cleared out some stuff, sold some stuff off, which is nice now that with the merchant that you just call them up anytime. As I get over encumbered, I just call them up and I sell them some stuff. So that's pretty damn handy. I really like having the merchant handy like that. So I ended up when I got back to good old Skyrim, I ended up at Valthoom. You head into Valthoom, and when you enter, there's a ghost there. His name is Valdar. And he's like, look, there's an evil inside. You have to stop it. And you have to collect these 3 vessels from separate areas of the ruin there, of the dungeon, whatever you want to call it, the Nordic ruin. This is one with Hevnorak, and there's a bunch of Draugr, obviously, in here. And then the Dragon Priest at the end. So it's somewhere around Markarth in that area. Because obviously I left my cottage. I left Drayla's cottage there. And so I probably came across it when I was just wandering around. But, yeah, no, it's a pretty good battle. Pretty good long ruin. Hevnorak was a pretty decent battle. I'm trying to think what I used against him. You get the 3 vessels. Then you fill them up. Or then you put them in, there's a, not an urn. What would it be called? I don't know. Where there's fire in it or something. So you put the vessels in there, and then you sit on his throne, and you're looking out, and you're like, yep, this is going to be a problem. Something's going to happen. And yes, of course, obviously the coffin opens, and you have to battle him. So I think I just used the bound bow. I don't think I had to use anything else. I took a couple shots, but I was able to sneak mostly and get them. So I obviously got up out of the throne, so I didn't get caught. But yeah, no, that wasn't too bad. That wasn't that tough of a battle. And I forget what his mask does. I think it might be like the resist poison one or something like that. So I think it has his resist poison, his mask. So I just did some other stuff. Did some enchanting of some stuff I had. Just wandered around a few small areas. I came across, as I was wandering like south and west and stuff like that, I came across Deepwood Redoubt and Bard's Leap. Deepwood I came across not from the main entrance, but from up above, which was unusual. So I ended up picking off a lot of them from up high, a lot of the good old Forsworn that are there, and then headed up to Bard's Leap, where the Hag Ravens are. And I was able to get, the key is to kill one of the Hag Ravens so they can't raise the Briarheart, and I was able to do that. And then I went and took the leap, and I survived the leap. I saved right before the leap because you can very easily die on the leap. And then that guy plays you a little tune, the bard, the ghost bard, who did not make it when he did the leap. But if you run really fast and jump, you're all right. You'll make it. And just keep pushing forward. Keep running forward as you're falling. Another tip, because if you don't, you'll die. And that would suck. Especially when you're just trying to do something. So I did that as well. I also did, I cleared out that Forsworn camp by Karthspire. Just kind of came across there. I was coming across from the opposite direction. Usually you come down the hill from where that mine's at. I was actually coming the other direction. So I cleared that out. That was pretty fun, actually. There's some pretty good distance shots there. You can shoot across, obviously, the ravine and across the water there. So that was pretty good for archery. Good archery battle. Cleared out Red Eagle, went and got the sword. And there I found a Grand Healing spell tome. I have never, ever, ever had Grand Healing in my entire run. Oddly enough, 3 years now into the game, I have never even come across Grand Healing one time until not tonight, but whenever I found it earlier in the week. I didn't even know existed. Apparently, it heals everybody around you and yourself for 200 points. So, kind of sucks in battle, I'm guessing. But unless, if you're grinding, it's probably a really damn good spell. Because you can heal everybody and just keep beating the hell out of everybody without killing them, I guess. I don't know. Or if you have your followers, obviously, you can heal them as well. But yeah, I had never come across it. It was just in a chest. And I think I was level 34, 35 at that point. And I'm like, wow, first of all, it's really early to find it. And I had never come across it at all before. So that was pretty cool. And it was a new one on me. So I have some stuff stored at Drela's, obviously the Red Eagle sword. Not Red Eagle, because that's part of the quest line. But, so anything I kind of find, I sell right away. But if it's something cool, I do take it back to the cottage in case I'm going to use it later. So there is that. I've kind of become a hoarder again. Even though I tried to make this character not a hoarder, I still need some I don't really need the location. Who am I kidding? I just do it because I'm a hoarder. So I also ended up at Harmigstall, which is a ruined fort. That's, let's see, where is it at? It's northwest of Carthwatson. There's a warlock in there named Cornalos who is he's doing the weird frostbite spiders in there. And there's that one puzzle in here that's kind of a pain in the ass. It's like 4 levers. You have to figure out which order to open them in. So there's like these rods sticking out of the ground. You have to get them to open up. So that's like the hardest part of it, because he's just standing by this cage where the spiders are in, and he's not even looking at you. So you just shoot him in the back. But other than that, the only real challenging part of that was the the puzzle to figure out. And that took a little while, but that was just figuring out levers and such. So that was kind of all I did there. So that's kind of where my character's at. I just emptied out all of my potions and grabbed my smithing gear, and I'm heading back to I forget the Orc Stronghold. It's the one all the way out west by Markarth, north of Markarth. And I'm going to head out there. I'm going to do a bunch of smithing. I got a bunch of pelts. I'm going to make some leather stuff, maybe some other stuff. Just use up what I have and just start building up the smithing a little bit, just as a way to level up. I kind of want to see how far I can level a character without going to the cities. I'm sure I can level them, all the way, but just how many spells I can collect, how much, what I can accomplish as I get higher and higher levels, just avoiding the cities. Also, I'll probably get back to playing a little Oblivion. I go on vacation in about 2 weeks. So I'll have a break around Thanksgiving. So if anybody has anything they want to send in, I'll figure I'll do some kind of feedback show for Thanksgiving, American Thanksgiving week, United States Thanksgiving week, which is the 28th-ish, something like that, 27th. So I figure that week I will would like to do some kind of feedback type show, because that'll be a way. But other than that, I don't really have much. You can join. We still have the Facebook group going. Still have stuff going on over there. People checking it out. Postings, things like that. So any questions, comments, general Skyrim stuff, we post over there. You can, that is facebook.com/groups/Skyrim Addict podcast. There's also one for the roundtable. I am not sure of the actual URL right at the very second. But if you would like to join the roundtable, I believe it's skyrimroundtable@gmail.com. They just recorded yesterday, I believe, while I was out. So they just recorded yesterday, so that should be coming up soon. Also, you can email the podcast at skyrimroundtable@gmail.com. No, you can't. You can't email there because that's Not an email address we have. Skyrim Addict Podcast at gmail.com. And other than that, let's see. I'm trying to think if there's anything else off the top of my head. I don't have anything else off the top of my head. Sorry. Drawing blanks tonight. Any feedback, obviously, love to hear it. Feel free to send it in. That's always good. I'll probably be recording again next Sunday. Hopefully I'll get some... might switch back to a little bit of Oblivion. I know I was talking about doing that, but once I get hooked into Skyrim, it's hard for me to get out. Same thing, although actually once I got into Oblivion, it was hard for me to get out as well. So it's funny how that happens. But I want to get back to Oblivion so I don't get rusty with that particular character. Because, you drop a character and then you lose that feel of how you play it if you put it down for too long. So I kind of want to get back to that character in Oblivion, just maybe do a quest line, maybe do like Dark Brotherhood. I think I'm partway into that. So that'll be pretty cool. If you like the artwork, Miss Claire LaFar does a bunch of stuff on Etsy for all kinds of television, movies, comics, bunch of cool stuff, mashup kind of stuff, which is pretty interesting. You can check it out at etsy.com/MayaFirePrints, MayaFirePrints. And that's all I got. Thanks for listening, everybody. Appreciate it. And hope you've enjoyed the 3 years of Skyrim as I have. Metal Shark Studio. And I'm back again. Sorry about that. So a little behind the scenes. I was doing the whole YouTube broadcast thing, and I never hit start broadcast. So that happened. But like once a month, maybe starting in December, I want to see. So if anybody would be interested in this, Andrew kind of brought it up. Maybe do like a community cast where people could hop on the call as well. And it would be during the live type show. And this one too. Same thing. So if you are interested in that, please email and let me know. Or if you're in a group, just let me know. That's fine. Or if you're on Twitter, just let me know there. That's fine as well. Whatever way you feel like contacting me, just give me a heads up and let me know if people would be interested in that before I try and set it up. So figure once a month, it would be on a Sunday, say first Sunday of the month. We'll go with that. So I don't know what the first one would be, December 5th, something like that. But I don't know what that Sunday is. So just tentatively, we'll call it that. So if you're interested in that, please email. Let me know if there's interest for that. I'd like to do something like that. That would be cool. Talk to different people, get their feelings on the game and different views and stuff like that. Obviously, all the regular contributors are welcome as well, obviously. But that's all I got. So we'll end this again and put myself out of my misery for tonight where I screwed everything up. Goodbye, everyone. So weird watching myself on another screen. Anyway, hello, everyone. Back for another episode 54. I have a few things. It's funny, this week I've been going back and listening to some past episodes because I just want to see how it's kind of sounded in the beginning, for one reason. Another, I was thinking about putting together a little promo, so I wanted to go get little sound bites and snippets and things like that. So, sorry about that. So, while I've been like working around the house and stuff the past couple days, I've just been listening to past shows, and it's funny. It's really weird going listening to those shows. They're very quick, which is awesome. But I found some good sound bites, so hopefully I can put together a little promo. That would be kind of fun. And just a reminder, next Sunday I will not be doing a live show because I will be getting ready for the Thanksgiving holiday here in America, United States of America. So if you do have feedback or you want to send something in, even if it's text-based, I will read it and record it myself. I can send it to myself via voice message. I understand not everybody likes to send any kind of voice memo or anything. I know Colin's really shy. But, yeah, so if you have anything, please feel free to send it in. I'll be putting together something at the end of next week for that week's show. I believe there's some roundtables floating around also, so I'll check in on them, see what's going on there too. But yeah, so for the Thanksgiving week here in the United States, which is the 22nd, which is next Sunday, so for that week after that, any kind of feedback would be awesome, and I'll throw that all together. So, playing this week, I'm still on Orange Julius. I've decided I will wait until I get back from the holiday to do my get back into Oblivion. So I'll probably jump out of Skyrim at that point. I actually today just wandered to Fort Dawnguard because I was down that way. So basically what I've been doing with this character, for anybody who hasn't listened before, I play on 360, vanilla Skyrim. Right now I have Orange Julius, a character who is not going to any of the cities. He's level 43 Wood Elf, I believe. And he's just roaming the countryside. I did go to Solstheim for a bit. I figured I was safe because it's out of the way. Nobody cares. But what I have really come to use quite a bit are the orc strongholds. I remember I had mentioned that southern one by Markarth. I forget the name off the top of my head. But I kind of went around to all of them. I have one left to allow me in, I think. I have to bring them like a Daedra Heart and something else and Troll Fat. But that shouldn't be too much of an issue. So I've been using them for trading and smithing, and it's been really awesome. I got Draylo's Cottage is my home base. So I'm out in the wilderness. Nobody's there to bother me. I'd started with Anissa's cabin, but I moved on to Draylo's Cottage just because it's nicer, basically. It's just a nicer place. A little more convenient to get to also. It's kind of right in the dead center of the map almost. So I use that. And I've just been wandering about doing whatever quest pops up. I picked up a new spell as of this playthrough, Lightning Bolt, I believe I got at one of my stops today, we'll say. Yeah, so anyway, I was down by the Riften area. I did kill 2 guards outside of Riften without going into Riften, however. That was fun. But I wandered over to Fort Dawnguard, so I'm going to start that up. Yeah, since my guy, I don't believe you have to go into any cities for that. So I think I have to go to Dim Hollow first. I think that's the first thing you go to. So I'm heading over there to do that. So that should be fun. And right now I'm using Conjured Bow. I have started working on my smithing. I'm up to Dwarven. Not really using any of the weapons or armor. I'm wearing robes. I am wearing ebony gauntlets, boots, and a helmet. However, because they look cool with robes. And but I do have the ebony mail from Boethia. So I did do Boethia's calling. So I found a sucker to come with me. It wasn't easy, and I felt really terrible because the orcs were so good to me, but I just needed to do the quest. It happens. So I grabbed Gorbash, the Iron Hand, and he's like, I will definitely go with you. I will help you. I got to get out of the stronghold and go do some stuff. Meanwhile, I led him to his death, and I feel terrible about that. I feel absolutely terrible. So I did that part of Boethia's quest where you sacrifice, and then you got to do the battle where everybody kills each other, and you kind of just stand off to the side and I don't know, shoot people after they all kill each other, which is pretty easy. After that, you talk to Boethia, who is like, you got to go kill the current champion who's up at Knife Point Ridge. So you head up there, crawl through that bandit area, and kill the current champion who has the Ebony Mail. I think it's an area you can't get to because you can go in Knife Point Ridge. I don't believe you can get to this area unless you're doing the Boethia quest. Because it's been a while since I've been in Knife Point, but I seem to recall you can't get to that specific area without the quest activated. So, but anyway, it's pretty cool. The Ebony Mail, when you're sneaking, does some damage to the people you're close to, which is pretty cool. So, I like it. I'm honestly, for archery, it's not great because when you do first person, the black smog when you're sneaking kind of blocks your view. So a little not helpful there, but I do like the way it looks, and I'll probably throw it in Drela's cabin since I probably won't wear it. But I think I'm carrying it around right now. It's not very heavy. I forget what it is. Maybe it weighs 15, something like that. Not normal Ebony Mail weight. Much lighter than that. So, but yeah, I did do Boethia's Calling, so that was a good time. It's weird. Andrew's saying the chat is disabled. Yes, doing the show live on YouTube, or if you're watching on YouTube, you already know that. For the rest of you normally listening to the show, on Sundays I've been doing it on YouTube. Search for Skyrim Addict. And it'll be on there somewhere. It's down a little bit, but that's the channel. And normally, I think on Sundays I'll be doing that, except for when I'm unavailable. So that was my little Boethia jaunt. My John. I think last time I was supposed to talk about Lost to the Ages, and I didn't because I forgot, and I'm disorganized. So I did do Lost to the Ages. I did that entire quest last time. I did get the Zephyr bow, which you find out on the log, I believe. I forget which thing I chose at the end, the crown shield or staff. I don't remember. Staff. I took the staff because you get the spider or dwemer bots. I forget which one it shoots out of it. It shoots out of the end of its staff. But you start out at Arkanthasm, then you go to Rabolthar, and then into Bethoft. These dwemer names, Jesus. But yeah. No, it was a good time. I liked that quest. Funny enough, I listened to an episode where I talked about it previously, really early on, maybe episode 12 or 13 or something like that. But yeah, you go into the first ruin, which is Arkanthasm, and you hear the disembodied voice, and it ends up being Katria. And she's a ghost that kind of helps you along to each of the places. And so first you go through there, you find her notes, yada, yada, yada. You get down to the Steam thing, the big room with a giant puzzle on it, which is pretty cool. Do that. And then she pops up at each place you travel to, which is awesome. So I did all that and ended up just accepting the staff. Because you have to go around and find more shards, I believe, of the Ethereum. So, the final battle of that's pretty cool. Because you go into where the forge is, the Ethereum Forge. And, it's just obviously a bunch of Dwemer bots start coming out. I think the final one, of course, is the, what are those guys called? I forget, the big guys that shoot steam out of their faces. Guardians or whatever, not the Guardian Spheres. I forget. I can't off the top of my head. I can't remember what they're called for some reason. I've only seen them 45,000 times. But you got to battle a bunch of spiders first, then a bunch of spheres. Oh, the Forge Master he's called at this one. That's right. But you also have to keep shutting the steam off so more don't come out, I believe. So it's a pretty cool battle. I enjoyed it quite a bit. Ethereum Wars is always good. Or Lost to the Ages, I should say, is always a good time. Also, while I was out and about, I decided to hit up Periite Shrine. Periite Shrine, and to start that quest. So you get there, and the guy up there, what's his name? I forget the guy's name. What's his name was up at the top? There's a Khajiit. Kesh to Clean. Sorry. I had to look that up. So he's up there, and he's like, I need this, this, and this, so I can make this potion, so you can go there. I think it's vampire dust, silver ingot, a ruby or something, and a death bell. I don't know if it's flawless ruby. I think so. So you do that. Then you have to go over to the pot of green bubbling liquid and breathe it in. Imperial speaks to you. And like, yo, you got this Ochender fellow. He's holed up in Bethar's dams. Dwellers. And you got to kill him. He's out of control. You know, he's got my kids, and he's out of control. The Afflicted. So you crawl through there. There's a bunch of mages and Afflicted and things like that. You hear people talking here and there. You hear some conversations, which are pretty funny. There's always this one, though, that always throws me off. Because you get to this one room where there's this woman talking to this guy in bed. And, like, she's like, oh, he tricked us. I can't believe we're down here, blah, blah, blah. And I think you can go up and talk to them. It never works out well. Don't talk to them. Just kill them. Even if they're having a nice conversation, just kill them. It's better. Obviously, at the end, you battle Orchender and some Centaurians and stuff. But Orchender, it's like freezing down here, by the way. I think I 3-shotted him. I think I have it on expert right now. I 3-shot him. I'm going to bump it up another level because my archery is pretty strong. So I think I'm going to bump it up another level because some of the final battles are a little too simple. So definitely got to bump up my difficulty level of playthrough. So I did do that, and you get a Spellbreaker with that, which is a shield from Imperial, which is a good time. What was it? One of the other ones? I did the Red Eagle stuff. Actually, ended up at the Redoubt. Was it Red Eagle Redoubt? And that's a bunch of Forsworn, of course. And there's a Briarheart at the end. Then you go through a tower and out the back door, and you head to the I guess it's called Sundered Towers. And then you head to Rebel's Cairn, which is like out the back door somewhere. And that's where Red Eagle is located. You have to put the sword in this pedestal. Door opens up, and then you got to take care of Red Eagle. He was a little more difficult. I think I took like 3 or 4 shots with him as well. I had to do some extra sneaking. Thankfully, I have I think I have almost all the perks on archery that matter. The only one I don't have up the left side is the paralyzed one at the very top. The right side I don't really concentrate on that much. I go up 1, I think, because the rest are like get more arrows and crap like that. And obviously with a bound bow, I don't really need to worry about that. But I have the 30% faster shooting. That's excellent. Love that. Super excellent. I would like to try Zephyr out because I know Zephyr's very fast, but I don't have. I don't think I can smith that up yet. I'm not at 60 smithing yet. I think I just got to 50 as a matter of fact. So once I get to 60, I will maybe break out some of those weapons I have lying around Drayless Cottage. But other than that, I've been using the Dremora Merchant quite a bit. Really loving that. I also now obviously have the Orcish Strongholds to sell stuff too. Once I get Dawnguard going, I'll have stuff to sell too there. Buy and sell there. But yeah, it's pretty awesome. I haven't been to a city yet, and I'm level 43. And it's a really fun way to play it. I'm really enjoying it quite a bit. I think I'm just going to continue on with this character as long as possible. I don't know if you consider going to the docks of Windhelm a cheat. I make sure, like as part of that play style, I make sure I kill any guards in the area before I hop onto the boats or anything like that. So, like same thing when I was going past Riften, I laced those guys in the face, which was pretty fun. Same thing I did that at Kawarthen or whatever. Like those little settlements, I don't worry so much. I kind of scoot around the outskirts, but I don't worry if it like triggers them so much, man. You know, because it's like they're not real cities, and if I see guards, I just kill them. So it's that's the way I do it. I do have feedback from Colin and Andrew, who happen to be in the chat, but I'm going to save that for next week. But I do have something at the end that I will play. I'm trying to think if I have anything else off the top of my head that I was doing. I went to this one spot, like little east of Boethia's, like way up on the mountain, super steep slope. There was these 3 bears. They were not eating porridge. But I was way down, and I shot them, and like they all came running out at the same time, and they got to like the crest of the hill, and they came down like an avalanche. And I was like, God damn it, I really want those pelts. Because that was when I was working on my smithing. But they went like, I don't know, like a mile down the goddamn mountain. I'm like, jeez, well, this is no good. So I lost out on some pelts there because I wasn't chasing them down the mountain like as they was rolling down the hill like bowling balls down, you know, or like cabbages when people do those cabbage explosions or whatever they are, avalanches. But that's all I have for this one. You can reach the show at skyrimaddictpodcast@gmail.com. You can join the Facebook group, facebook.com/skyrimaddictpodcast. Shows on Stitcher. Shows on YouTube. Shows on your favorite podcatcher, iTunes, etc., Downcast, whatever you use. If you have a chance, leave one of those things on iTunes. That would be awesome. If not, that's perfectly fine too. I think that's all I have for now. Stay tuned. Oh, God, I just punched my mic. That was bad. And go. The Lusty Argonian Maid, Volume 1, by Crassius Curio. Act 4, Scene 3. Certainly not, kind sir. I am here but to clean your chambers. Is that all you have come here for, little one? My chambers? I have no idea what it is you imply, master. I am but a poor Argonian maid. So you are, my dumpling. And a good one at that. Such strong legs and shapely tail. You embarrass me, sir. Fear not. You are safe here with me. I must finish my cleaning, sir. The mistress will have my head if I do not. Cleaning, huh? I have something for you. Here, polish my spear. But it's huge. It could take me all night. Plenty of time, my sweet. Plenty of time.